Happy New Year! And Ani, Bonjour, Kwekwe, Tanzi, Scano. It's Catherine and Brian at Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario, bringing you the first full week's reading of the new year. So we're dealing with January 5th to 11th inclusive of 2026. And you know how things go in the psychospiritual world. I get a certain idea of the cards I want, and this morning, well, for a few days now, I've been thinking about this reading and what cards I'd use. And I really wanted some of my beautiful art cards. So these are decks that are related to like Monet or Rush or, you know, Dali. Think of any great artist who's got a deck out there, and I was ready for that beauty. I wanted beauty to bring in 2026 in the reading. Get to my office this morning and it's none of those things. It's a dog's breakfast. There are the weirdest, or it is the weirdest conglomeration of decks that I have put together in some time. Some of the decks I've used before, others I have not, because they are just so niche and diverse. So we have stuff like the deck of John Dee, the famous, I believe he was mid-1600s. He was an astrologer, a medical doctor, astronomer. He was psychic, he was gifted, he was kind of like a Nostradamus type person, but typically was hired by kings and queens and states, and I believe in the end he died for his capabilities. So we've got John Dee, he was an alchemist. I've got another alchemist oracle. I've got the skeleton people, Brian doused, which deck was supposed to be the first week of the year. And sure enough, it was the Marseille deck of skeletons by Mr. Freeborg. I've got the little moon deck. I've got an elemental deck, which is really out there. I've got the Mirror Truth Lenormand. I've got a King Solomon oracle. I used to keep that extremely personal and not use that with other people, but no, King Solomon's joining the party. And as far as other decks, you'll see the picture. I always post it on the socials, so that picture process will be there. Anyway, let's get to the beginning of the reading and go to the cards, Brian. So, Il Bagato is the magician. So our significator here is the magician, and this is the skeleton deck by Mr. Freeborg. It's a Tarocchi, standard classic Tarocchi. And so in his bag of tricks, which can include things that he uses with sleight of hand, it's also about making magic and using the elemental world really to manifest something that's higher order. If you think of temperance, temperance is, you know, mixing things together from the spirit world, from this world, but a lot of it is in the elements as well. But temperance is an angel and working under divine order, whereas the magician is sometimes seen as going from town to town, flying by the seat of his pants. We need to have the mental agility of this magician. And 2026 is a number one year. This is a number one card. And it's clarified by the, what have we got here? The Eight of Wands, which is, just a second here, is this the 8 or is this the 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 9 of Wands. So we are defending our order, whatever it is that we manufacture here with our magic and our alchemy. We are defending that with the energy of spirit. We've come a long way, and it's a card of perseverance. So if some of the things you pull out of your magic hat, including the rabbit, don't work this first week, persevere. Just persevere. We are all so close to finishing something that needs to be done and dusted and ended. The card following the magician here is La Luna, or the moon. So this is about seeing through the dark, and the moon I see as not illusory in this kind of, the negative spin would be illusion or lunacy, or going kind of down the squirrel hole like 3 a.m. when we think of everything we should have said in a work meeting 15 years ago. No. The meaning of the moon for this week is guidance in the dark, psychic messages. That's the kind of thing. And from the Lenormand, we also get the moon. So the moon obviously is a big deal in this, going into this second week of January. And it's interesting because the new moon happens the week after this reading. So we're in a kind of a third quarter-ish part of the moon cycle. And, time is on our side. Time indeed is. Moving to the next card, we have the Ace of Cups. So there are emotional treasures, so to speak, incubating. New things. It's a new year, new ways of being and thinking. So if we are classically a negative person emotionally, it's going to switch around. There's an opportunity to grab and nurture and let it grow. And it's followed by, it is clarified by the Queen of Moons, which is the Queen of Cups in this particular deck. So the moons are cups. And so this is emotional maturity, nurturing self, being able to hold the space for others, but also, it's the old put the oxygen mask on your own face first in a falling airplane. You can't help others before you are in a place of peace and safety within yourself. So this queen is making sure that what's incubating here is in a good way. Then we have the Devil. And I asked Brian to douse that card to make sure that I had pulled that card correctly. And it's a reminder not to fall into bad habits from previous years. We always, most of us have good thoughts about a new year and all the things we're going to do to make it a better year. But sometimes by week 2 of January, we're already falling off the rails of the track we've made for ourselves. So the Devil card here is about not just giving in to old habits and secrets, old things we're trying to hide from others that we hold within ourselves. It's important just to give ourselves some slack and get back on the track again. Now it's clarified here, if I can get this card up, because I need to be able to see it. This is card 19 from King Solomon. So let me just have a look here what King Solomon has to say. I've forgotten in my head what 19 is. It's sexuality, romance, seduction, and intense involvement. So this card could be speaking about not getting your head turned by jumping into a romance, even if it's just a weekend romp, and it gets done and over with and isn't a full-time commitment. It's a distraction from keeping us what's in the center focus. So if your thoughts are about feeling lonely and loss of romance, don't jump into something quick and dirty, so to speak. Basically, if we keep on track and stay fairly committed to ourselves and our new journey with 2026, we have the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups here is about stability and stasis. It's not always about being meh and being kind of depressed and bored because things are stable. It's actually a very positive card that we should relish stability. And it's clarified by the John Dee deck card here. John Dee, in one of his forms, was a geographer. And the geographer in this deck, whose name escapes me, it's Gerardus Mercator. Now, Mercator was able to do maps. He was a traveler. He started his career as a mathematical instrument maker, but he was his skills were relished by the courts that he served along with John Dee in terms of when they wanted to grow and find sources of materials in other countries. We would call this colonization or colonialism. But it's his gift. We need to focus on the man and his gift here for a minute, because the gift that he is supposed to be bringing to us, again, had 5 positions it could be in. So Brian accommodated my request to douse. And the geographer in the north position came up, and the spiritual advice becomes, wherever you find yourself on your journey, look around and notice the key points that will help guide you in your required direction. Don't rush ahead without orienting yourself. Firstly, otherwise you may find yourself lost. Whatever task you undertake and whatever change in circumstances may come, planning and observation will help you be prepared for whatever comes. Uriel asks, what signposts do you see around you? So John Dee was very into angels and angel script, so Archangel Uriel is involved in this observation. So when we're sitting here doing our thinking and perhaps planning, it's important to make sure that we look for the signposts and not rush. Here we have the 5 of Wands, and that's kind of, it can be in Wands, it can be internal jousting. So poking away at yourself about this, that, and the other thing as it relates to your journey. Kind of being stalled in going down your internal rabbit hole, or analysis paralysis. It can also be an external or extrinsic jousting, so to speak, or poking at people around you. They're warning not to let yourself go from the stability of the 4 to the unpleasantness that this card, whether it's intrinsic or extrinsic, it's important not to get caught in analysis paralysis about direction. When we feel that that's happening, the clarifier is this card. Be an animal. I share my world with animals which have all kinds of strengths. So this person is wearing the costume of a lion, representing strength. For us, it can be very literal. Go out, get your boots on in this weather, but put your feet on the earth and go out and be in nature and listen to the birds and feel the wind and smell the air and touch the snow. Put a bit of snow up to your face and feel the energy that it provides to your central nervous system. This is a calming and a slowing and a very primal form of grounding, and we all need it. It's earthing with the animals and the animal energies that permeate our landscape. The final card of the week is the Ace of Wands, so we have beginnings on two levels here. This is the spiritual level, which seems to be coming after the emotional level. And the fire in the belly is having the energy and the impetus to not just sit and be thinking, but rather to know that a new direction is incubating, and we just have to give it place and peace to do so. A mindfulness and looking for the signposts here. So consequently, the Alchemist card, which is what this deck is let me see. Inspirational creativity. Hard to read that writing. Inspirational creativity is definitely part of the Ace of Wands. So this is an important week, and I'm just going to see if I can, within three, pull an astrological card, which will tell me when we're looking for this to manifest. First card is Gemini. So, Gemelli is Gemini. That's when we can expect all of this to manifest in 2026. So that's a wonderful, we're building something very important for it to take that long into the astrological year to manifest. Anyway, you can flip the camera, Brian. This is a powerful year, and numerologically 2026, as I mentioned, is a 1 year. No matter what appears to have control of the political scene, the economic scene, the nature, government, all these things, this is saying that it's a new year and the overarching energies are controlling everything, including anybody who thinks they have control. So I would, without giving too much away at this point, say turn your eyes to the month of March, because by the month of March there's going to be some dramatic change for the good in this world, and it's going to be like a domino effect in the political arenas especially. Anyway, Brian and I are so looking forward. It's easy to get pessimistic when you get old and grumpy, so it's important to know that this is a good year, and we appreciate all of you one by one. I don't name names of supporters because I don't think that's a good idea, but I appreciate you all. And you can just, at the end of the video, if you want to send us some support or just make a comment or a request, all that information follows the video, and it's in the description. So much blessings, and keep warm. Aho.